All right, and welcome to the East County Prep Football Series previews. Rude producer there getting us rolling right now, but Dave joining us tonight, the top-ranked team in San Diego County and certainly in East County, but they'll be challengers. We got some great games on tap this season, including a game this Friday night, one of the games of the year in San Diego County, two of the top, let's say 5 teams, maybe 6 teams, maybe top 3 teams. We'll see how many plaudits these guys give their opponents this Friday night. The Helix Highlanders taking on the St. Augustine Saints. And joining us tonight, one of the top players in the county for sure. He's going to be matched up with one of the top players in the county for some parts of the game, certainly. SHAWN MARTINEZ also joining us. Big-time linebacker Jerry Riggins, an all-CIF choice, and also Blaze ZITO of that defense, and, of course, Coach Robbie Owens joining us tonight. Dave, thanks for getting the Highlanders together. We were also expecting Dominic Shoup to join us. Dave, the Helix Highlanders are set to go this Friday night. We're all set to go. No turning back. There was even indoor volleyball tonight. I saw the Grossmont Conference got underway. I don't know how we are starting indoor sports before football now, but who cares? It's all full speed ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. And I don't want to sound like a broken record or redundant, but just getting back youth sports, period. Everybody getting back to their craft, whether it be football, whether it be basketball, whether it be baseball. I mean, we're all going to be intertwined. I mean, the way I'm looking at the calendar, you guys are kicking off as basketball starts practice. And then on the 23rd, hardball will be playing their first game. So quite a bit going on at the same time. Football sharing the field typically with lacrosse and soccer. And then you got volleyball being shared along with basketball, of course, and then baseball, softball. I mean, we got it all. But I just think, gentlemen, you guys would all agree, just everybody to be back on the field or even indoors in the gymnasium has got to be something special. And I'm going to start with SHAWN. How special is this season going to be, even though it is a 5 and for some 6-game season? How special is this season after having to wait and have it be put back so many times?
Yeah. This season for us is going to be really special because it's our senior year, and we've been waiting a long time. And I know that me and the other seniors, we're gonna, when we finally get to suit up against St. Augustine, we're gonna let loose all this anger, all this built-up emotion. We're gonna let loose. Yeah, have some fun, especially on the defense. I know that for sure.
I figured Saints, especially. I figured it had to be Saints or it had to be Cathedral Catholic. One of the two would be two of your favorite to start the season off. I don't think you'd have a preference between those two, but Saints is definitely one that you definitely will match up well. And I think you guys whoever goes out there with the best game plan and with the best heart, that's going to be who wins the game. And as we know, the least amount of mistakes, because let's face it. I mean, I think we're going to be in the best physical shape. Would you not agree, SHAWN, since we've waited so long and we've been working out for so long? Would you say that we're in better shape physically than we have been ever before in any football season?
Yeah, I agree with that. Tip-top shape, best conditioning shape, I'd say. Yeah, I agree.
And your mental has to be just through the roof now. I know even myself and Ramon, and I'm sure even Coach O, having that long without, I mean, it's one thing to be a spectator, but to have that long without playing any sports at all, and then even that lull that we had where we couldn't even watch. I think the first sporting event was Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, along with Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. I mean, that was our first live event for the most part. So that kind of tells you how bad we really wanted some some sports back, but especially the youth and especially here in the East County.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Dave. And you look back at when Helix, that was one of the last games you can remember, right? When Helix took on Saints and what turned out to be a great defensive battle. Jerry, you're going to play the Saints again this week. I know we're looking forward to all these games, but getting back on the field against that opponent in particular after that, quite defensive game that you guys had against them way back in 2019. Go figure, huh, Jerry?
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time since that game, and both games that we played with them, actually, the first game we kind of ran away with it in the beginning, and they clawed their way back into that one. And then the second game, purely defensive game, and both those games came off kind of shaky wins for us. So we're just trying to come back and then steamroll these guys, so then we can put the nail in the coffin and say that we're the best in San Diego. Period.
There you go. I mean, it wasn't just that game. I think there was another one that stood out to. I know it was a while back, but even that Steel Canyon game over at Steel Canyon. Talk about a tale of two halves. Definitely, especially for the Highlanders in particular, an injury. We weren't. I mean, it just seemed like we don't want that to ever take place, but. Talk about a spark and turning the whole thing. But I don't know what coach said, but he must have said something that was worth a couple of gold bars, because you guys came back out and dominated the second half on their turf. So, and you guys always match up well, but definitely that was probably one of the games of the year also. I know it wasn't a championship game, but it definitely had that feel to it, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Coming out the half, we're losing, and Coach O, he told us we just got to play Helix football, and we weren't playing Helix football for that first half. And then John Carroll came in the locker room. He fired us up. Obviously, Andre Salcido, he went down. But that kind of gave us the spark, and we started playing for our brothers and started playing for Helix and what we had on our shirts and our jerseys. And you could really just see and feel in us and in our visiting crowd, just the momentum shift and the difference that all of that made coming out of the half.
Hey, Blaze, talking about playing for championships, I heard Coach Owens speaking with the other media the other day about Helix plays for championships, and that's what makes you guys so proud, not just achieving those goals, but working together to achieve those goals and creating that family unit. But without a championship to play for this year, what is the motivation of not only you guys as seniors, but seniors throughout the county to just play these 5 or 6 games? Is it just the lull and the fact that we've gone through this terrible tragedy and it's just worthwhile to get back on the field? Is the deep motivation there for not only you guys, but for any high school football player?
Yes, I would definitely say it's even stronger at this point. We've waited almost a year to play, and we've gotten our senior season taken away for the most part. I'd say everybody's really just ready to get back on the field and play for their senior year and have the young guys play for the seniors.
Coach, what can you tell us about? I know we have the seniors and it's very important to them, but if you could give us kind of an idea of what you got in these lower classmen, like the juniors in particular, because really this is their time to shine, and it's been shortened as well. But they're not having a complete season taken away from them. But it's going to be very vital that they have scouts checking them out, especially this season. And even in a shortened pandemic season, it's going to be very vital. Is there anybody that stands out and is going to take you to the next level as far as assisting these seniors in a possible undefeated season?
Well, I think, obviously with all of our guys, this recruiting season was kind of as I've always said, it was a kind of a buddy situation. And, Christian Washington's obviously probably our best junior that's coming back, that took over last year at running back as a sophomore, but it seems like so long ago. But I just think that, as those guys said, as Blaze said, this is a tremendous opportunity for our guys. I think COVID just made you realize how important football was, and how, we all miss it. And, I missed it. And so I think that's the big piece of it. There's a lot of young guys that are getting opportunities. You're probably going to see more freshmen get opportunities than ever have, to get out there and compete. So, I think, for our young guys, as you said, it'll be an audition for the 2021 season in the fall. But, again, for me, this is about, our seniors and playing Helix football for 6 weeks and doing everything we can for these guys to finish up their senior year. Like Blaze said, that kind of got, taken away from them. We want to, make sure that we end this on as high a note as we possibly can.
Hey, Dominic, what were the feelings for, maybe you could describe it for all of us, or for all of your teammates and for all the players, just the emotional feelings of, back, I remember watching the Super Bowl and I just felt like, man, I'm so jealous. We've gone through this whole NFL season. We've watched these college games. We can't get on the field. And I just kind of felt a low on that particular day. But as the days rolled along, and even Coach Owens has said publicly, he kind of kept the faith and kept instilling, kind of like I think Coach Berner, Dave, out at El Cap, to keep hope alive, keep the faith. And what kind of emotions did you feel once you started to feel the tide turn a little bit, thanks to the let them play movement and just the news that kind of grew every single day till you finally got the word that we're going to hit the field and start practicing and play some football games?
Yeah, it was really exciting. I was ecstatic because I never really stopped, working out, and I committed to SMSU. So I was trying to keep, my physical attributes and my stamina and everything up. So I was still practicing with Helix, and, we were doing shells, and not shells, we were doing 7-on-7. So it was just shirts and t-shirts. And I was steady with Coach Owens the whole way, and I was riding with him, and he was confident. He was, he was there right behind us. He was telling us like, yeah, I'm confident we're going to play. And, there was those times where we were going to go on break, and it was those long breaks where we had no communication, and it was sort of like, are we really going to get this? And, I had my doubts at times, but Coach Owens was always right there saying, yeah, we're going to play. And as it turns out, he was right. And I'm just really excited.
What kind of things did you say, Coach, every time you met with these guys? I saw Coach Berner a lot on social media just saying, hey, it's going to get there. It's going to get there. And, it certainly was heading in that direction. We just need the combination of this dramatic lowering of the case rates combined with the vaccines and herd immunity and all those technical jargon. But, we're not making the wrong move. We're moving forward because that's what the science says.
Yeah, I think, I think the biggest thing during that ordeal was, all these guys are showing up every single day to work out with us. We're doing conditioning, and these guys are showing up because they just wanted to get out of their house and get back to some semblance of normal. And so, for me, it was, there were times, I lost a little bit of faith at times that we were actually going to play. And there was times I sat around going, God, all the work to, wipe off equipment, and we're taking weight room stuff outside and all that. You're like, is this all worth it? But at the end of the day, it was about these guys. We wanted to provide an opportunity for them. And that's why when these guys started going and playing, showcases in Utah and doing the travel thing, I was all supportive for it because I still had the faith that we would do something, and I knew they would come back. But at the same token, I wasn't going to tell these guys they couldn't go do something that, was an opportunity for them to play the game they loved. And I think that's what we started to realize is we all miss this game, and, we're all competitive, and we all do these things as football coaches. But at the end of the day, every football coach in San Diego and across the country, was doing things because of the guys that we have that have committed to our program. And, that's why I'm so excited for these seniors to have their opportunity to go out there and play, because, that's what it's all about. You'll always remember your senior year of football. And, I think sometimes people forget that. Not everybody gets on to go on and play college football and, and get those opportunities. So we definitely have to take advantage of every opportunity we get to play this game. And, you know, I feel very fortunate that we're going to get these 6 games. It's not ideal, but it's better than the alternative, and it's better than having nothing at all. So,
Dave, we might remember these 6 weeks more than many of the seasons just gone by.
I think, and I think the gentleman on the screen would agree as well, that this is going to be probably the most special and most memorable season, although shortened, than any of us have experienced in any of our lives, I think, as it proceeds to sports at all. I mean, whether you're playing football, soccer, if you're playing baseball, I mean, it's just going to be 6 games, but 1 game at a time, and you guys are going to be playing a playoff game pretty much every time you go out there. And now that's what I was going to ask. Maybe you guys talked about it earlier. Coach, are we going to do the 5 games or in a scrimmage, or are we going to do 6 games? Has that been decided yet?
yeah, we're playing 6 games. So Saints next week will be a game, and then we do have in our schedule, you know, Grossmont League, the way they did our schedule, we're playing 1 team in our league twice. So we're playing Steel twice, and Granite Grossmont are playing twice. So, and that's at the end of the year. So I'm still optimistic. And I said this on another show that, you know, I'm still optimistic that we'll have the ability to do something at the end of the year. I know we can play teams that are adjacent in our counties. You know, I'd love to play, you know, someone that, you know, from the Southern section at the end of the year, just to say we have our Southern section championship, or I don't care, North County, you know, it could be Cathedral, you know, Carlsbad, La Costa Canyon, Torrey Pines, I don't care. You know, we could have something at the end of the year. You know, again, we have the flexibility because of COVID with our schedule. You know, we don't have to worry about playoffs. We have some freedom in there that I'd love to have something at the end of the year, you know, just for us to have something to play for, you know, for that last game for these guys. And, you know, as I've said, we play for championships. We won 10 last year. You know, our motto this year would have been win 11. You know, and, you know, it's just unfortunate we didn't have that ability to do it, but I'd love to see a really good matchup at the end of the year to challenge these guys as they go off into college and continue their football careers.
And gentlemen, I was actually thinking, and it's good that you brought that up. It's a thought that I discussed with Ramon. It's something. It's in the works with, I guess, myself right now, but I'm talking to some of the vendors as well. And I was even thinking that, you know, it would be terrible to not have some kind of championship, whether it be a plaque, a T-shirt, something to celebrate a victory or somebody winning that conference in particular, like you said, the section, something to that effect, at least in the East County, in the Hills League, and in the Valley, since there hasn't been anything really discussed in particular. I'd like to put something together. I mean, I just don't see there's got to be something, you know, to play for. I know they're playing because of the love of the game, but there's got to be even a little something at the end that you know, says, hey, we came, we played, and we kicked some serious tail, and we deserve something to show for. So just something in the works, gentlemen, that I'm thinking of. So, you know.
Yeah, Dave.
Well, I think also if we can take the 4 teams we have, and if we could take the 4 teams we have in the Hills League with Granite, Grossmont, Steel, and us, again, we'll take on any conference. Like, I don't care. I don't know who Cathedral has the last game of the year. I don't know who La Costa has. I don't know who they have. But what I'm saying is, don't play that game. Play the 4 of us, and we'll break it up however we need to. I'll travel. I don't care. I just think it would be cool to play someone at the end of the year, you know, and like I said, play the Grossmont League. We're all in it together. You know, I know Coach Longerbold, you know, Coach Cobb and Coach Carlo, we're all in this together. And again, we're one of the few conferences that has to play each other twice. So, like I said, I don't care if it's Modern Day, Bosco, Centennial, Cal Baptist, whoever we can. I don't know the counties and how they touch, but whoever we can play, we'll play. I mean, it has some teams reach out. It's just the fact that they aren't in the county. So we'll play anybody that's willing to play us that last game of the year.
Absolutely.
the situation that they've ended up in, I mean, okay, maybe you and I have championed the 7-4 format. I'm not sure it works out, for these Hills League teams. Maybe privately they've said, hey, we need to find the strongest of the Valley team and pull them in here each and every year. That's not for them to tell us or discuss, but I think it's obvious to everyone of the divide between the 4 and the 7. However, what happens to those 4 teams in the Hills League in this situation, I don't think it's going to be as tough. Yes, Coach Longerbone has told us that. Coach Owens is hinting at that it is tougher to find, of course, as many as 8 non-league opponents, especially when the teams are of high caliber, because you just don't have as high a caliber teams close by La Mesa and El Cajon and the area. You have to go out to get those. Now, these teams can do, 2 or maybe 1-2 trips out of the area in their non-league schedules, but right now it just didn't work out. That's why we've got that. Remember, Eagles and the Cougars were going to play twice. Instead, now it's the Hillers and the Eagles playing twice, the Cougars and the Highlanders playing twice. They want to eliminate that duplicate set of games and somehow work it out. And the Highlanders will travel. So let's get to some of our players. Sean, Dominic mentioned you guys, going to Southwest Minnesota State, and hey, you're one of the top players in the county, returning really an all-state preseason selection, and you're going to be hopefully matched up a few times with a guy that you've collided with before, Grayson Halton of the Saints. Tell us about how that matchup's going to go on Friday night. You don't have to talk any smack about it, but just his ability. He's going to Oregon. I would think it's going to be a great time with all those San Diego guys at Southwest Missouri State, but anything can happen. You still got 6 games to continue to work on your craft, and your stock, frankly, has skyrocketed. Unfortunately, we ran into the pandemic. Sean, tell me about Friday night and the Saints, and hopefully matching up with Grayson several times.
Yeah, I played him a lot last year. He's a pretty good player, but I don't see any player that play. I don't like, he's a 5-star, he's a 4-star. I don't see it as that. I just gotta do what I do my job, and then hopefully we come out with the W.
Hey,
focus on me,
Jerry,
focus on what I control.
Exactly. In watching some of the matchups that you've had with them, sometimes, you guys don't end up on one another. I mean, that depends on the situation. Hey, Jerry, it's going to be kind of interesting for you as well over the next few weeks. You get to play your schedule, and USD is going to fire up. You get to watch some of their games the next day. We might even get to go out and watch some games out at USD. It's going to be an incredible several months for you, not only getting back to playing, but heading to school next year. Oh,
I was muted. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, these guys are good at this. It's like class. Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm grateful really to be staying so close to home, because I always know that I have that support net I can fall back on if anything gets too hectic, and then I can always see my family to just down the street. And then and getting to play, I'm kind of upset a little bit because some of like the better running backs in our league transferred out of our league. So like Wesley Neely at Steel Canyon, he transferred to Lincoln out of our league, and then Byron Caldwell transferred to Morris out of our league. So 2 of the top running backs in San Diego really they bounced out of our league. But I know that our league is still filled with like some pretty great quarterbacks. I know Richie Comanero, he's the captain of that offense over there. I'm the captain of this defense over here. So that's going to be a battle. And then you have Justice McComb at Granite Hills. He's a dog too. So I'm just looking forward to those battles really.
Hey, Dave, Jerry's looking for people to tackle already.
Well, yeah, and I'm no, honestly, and then knowing Justice, he actually, I'm sure is looking forward to facing these guys too. Last year, or I say last year, but 2019, that was Another one, a tale of two halves. Got a slow start. Helix did, and pretty close game. And next thing you know, I don't want to say that the wheels came off for granted, but again, there must have been something. I don't know if it was a special whisper from Coach O or what that special adjustment was in particular, but they found an adjustment to shut down the Eagles because it was quite a game in that first half. I mean, I wouldn't say, and the good thing is I didn't hear as much talk as I did as you would think. It was more play. It was out on the field, and what a game too in that first half in particular, and just like how you guys match up against Grossmont. I mean, the Hills, the way they designed the Hills League is fantastic, and like Coach said, you guys could match up with anybody in the county, and I think anybody in that league can match up with, especially this year. I think all four squads are tough.
Yeah, no doubt. Blaze, maybe we can touch on that. When you think of the Helix Highlanders, you look at these polls, everyone's got us number one. Us, sorry, Dave. Everyone's got the Highlanders number one. Okay? A lot of Highlanders on this screen. But certainly we have to give respect to all these opponents in the Hills League, even the ones that we've beaten over the last few years, because maybe, just maybe, the pandemic is a bit of an equalizer. Kids have been doing their workouts. Maybe some have worked harder than others. Who knows? So what can you say to the fact that you have to play these league teams again? You've had success against them, but yet they're still going to be hungry. And there is that bit of, I'm going to call it an equalizer just because there's a bit of an unknown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, that we just play our games like any other games. We scheme during the week. We go to practice. We work hard, and we get ready to play whoever was in front of us. In our minds, we're coming to compete at that we're going to play the top team in the nation. I mean, we're playing Helix football every week, and that's no matter our opponent.
And I wanted to get into who we actually have this year on the roster as far as returning seniors, key returners, and some of our younger players that have come up. And if you could, I'm going to hand this one over to Jerry, and if you could comment on that, maybe start with the defense.
So definitely key returners. We got SHAWN MARTINEZ. You know what I mean? CIF Player of the Year. Probably the best player on our team. Then you got ZITO off the edge. You got Jordan Dominguez off the edge. Both returners, starting defensive ends. Then you got Jose Ramirez coming in the middle. He didn't start for us last year, but he's a dog too. Then we have our linebackers, Julius Atuli Gasanoa. Big run stuff east. And then we have, so he's a senior returner for us. Sadly, we didn't get Jaden Brown back. Something happened with Jaden, but we still have Mike Boone. We have Mike Boone. He's a returner for us. He's gonna be filling that spot. We have Shimko, and obviously Dom back there commanding the secondary. So our defense is pretty stacked. And some of our upcoming guys, we have a freshman right now playing some linebacker for us, Cairo. I can't really pronounce his last name, but he's a dog too. And then we have, obviously, I'm not going to go through the whole offense, but we have X-Van, and we have this receiver named Darius, and we have this quarterback. They're going to be really, really nice for us.
He couldn't get his name, but he could get Latui Gasanoa.
Yeah, Latui
Gasanoa. Yeah. I've said it on the air before once. I think I got it right. I'm going to have it in my notes before I say it again, Dave. But, man, there's just names all over. And that was just the D, Dave.
Absolutely. And that's I was going to actually hand that one over to Coach to give us kind of an idea of the offense and what the offense is going to look like, both with the youth coming up and some of our key returners. And I'm sure everybody's going to want to know what's going on with the quarterback situation, since we all know in the offseason 2019, Buckner. I mean, it was, he's Notre Dame, so we're who do we got that's going to be behind center, or have we decided? Are we still are we still competing for that position?
I got some eligibility left.
Well, I think we're yeah, we're always competing. I think our strength is going to be up front. We got those guys back, and I think offensive line wise, we're going to be senior heavy up there, and those guys are going to definitely be the instigators of our offense. And then we have a freshman quarterback and Jesse Ryland, Ryland Jesse, who's very talented freshman, probably one of the most talented guys that I've ever had as a freshman. And Cameron Tarling is another guy that we have a quarterback. Those guys are kind of the two guys we have battling out. I anticipate Ryland starting for us on Friday. We have a slew of tight ends, and then we have a group of wide receivers. So I think, depth-wise, we have a lot of depth at a lot of positions. And then, Christian Washington, is going to be the main focus of most everybody's attention as far as the run game. But we have three other running backs. We got Alejandro Van Holten, who's starting for us on defense. We got Jonesy has done a great job for us at coming in. He's playing some corner for us and playing it. And then Tyrus has stepped up. So we got four running backs. So, I feel very confident in what we have, in our depth offensively. And again, it's all going to start up front. We're going to go as far as those guys will take us. And we have to play physical Helix football. And as I said before, we have a style that we can throw the ball 50 times a day or 50 times a game, or we can just line up and play smash mouth football. And I think that's what, offensively and defensively, we've always kind of relied on that toughness, and it's not going to change. This year it's kind of our identity, and, we'll continue to build off of, adjusting to our team and the opponent. Obviously Saints is a tough first opponent, but it's a rivalry game for us. We feel like Saints and Cathedral, along with our Grossmont Hills teams, those are the teams we anticipate to play each and every year. So, feel very fortunate we get to match up with Saints this year, and great coaching staff. And we always know we got to come ready to play.
No, Coach, the benefit also, you mentioned your tight ends. I'm sure that's what helps set up that running game and the passing game, as well as putting those tight ends in there to help out that shore up that offensive line. So you can maybe a little play action, some screens. I mean, when you have good tight ends, you definitely that opens up all kinds of doors, or even way down the field. I mean, it sounds like your offense is all set up for you, and I can't say enough about the defense. I mean, after what Jerry said, it looks like it's going to be pretty tough to beat the Highlanders, as a matter of fact, and from any facet of the game. And that was what I was going to ask. One last thing was how the special teams is going to be looking, and a lot of times you need to look. That kicker could be one of the most important men on that field in a tight game.
He lost a good one, Coach, from last season.
Yeah, I mean, when we actually have his brother kicking for us. So Isaac Lang stepping up for us as a kicker, and his brother. So, and then Noah Horvath is we're still a work in progress on special teams. That's probably one of the biggest things that, we feel really good with our core guys like Jerry and Dom. They're on every special team for us. I mean, those guys are, those guys that you can rely on every special team. So our core group is really good. We just have to really work with our kickers and punters and long snappers. And obviously that's something that we haven't been able to do during this COVID season. But, we feel like we have a really strong philosophy and a really strong base of core guys on those special teams. And, as you said, special teams is going to make a huge impact in every game. I can tell you last year, and I've said this in front of our team, the only reason we beat Saints last year was because Jerry Riggins blocked that punt. I mean, everybody can talk about the pick six and all those things, but Jerry's block on that punt, was the key to the game. And so, special teams and playing good football teams, I can tell you the last couple of years, when we lost to Cathedral 2 years ago, it was because of special teams. When we lost to Paraclete, it was because of special teams. So special teams is going to be an important of this shortened season, and so it's probably one of those factors that is going to be hard to judge because it hasn't been something we've been working all this off season for. We've been doing a lot of Zoom offensive meetings and Zoom defensive meetings, so our football IQ's up, but special teams is still going to be crucial to everything that we do.
And that's why I always ask coaches, that really is a key, and a lot of people tend to forget. But those players are huge. It could be 1 or 2 plays, and that could make the game, or that could even make your season a lot of times. So thank you for that answer. I appreciate that, Coach.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Ryland Jesse. I think people are starting to talk about him certainly a little bit. They've seen, they've seen him a little bit, but the departure of Buckner, I mean, it would have been great. It would have been exciting to have a regular football season and see what he could do with this team. But does Jesse only become the quarterback right now? I mean, we know that, Buckner is going to be a great at Notre Dame. It's not an issue about Jesse's development, but is he only eligible at least to play quarterback now because of the delay in the school year and his age, or could he have played quarterback, say Buckner was still at Bishop's or decided not to play football and go be an early enrollee? Is there anything with his age that makes him available now? Oh, all right. I lost Coach there. I want to talk to these guys a little bit. We'll bring them back on in just a moment. Log on, Coach, and get back in here. The guys are going to help me out. Come on, Sean, turn on your mic, and you don't have to tell me about, okay, here comes Coach. Yeah.
And there it is.
Robbie, you got us?
You back? I got you. We're back.
Dang, Coach, get some better Wi-Fi.
No, I was just.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I know. What's the deal? I got 4 bars. What are you guys talking about? Okay.
Maybe I'll take
5G.
I'll take responsibility. It's on that. Jesse, Ryland Jesse, would he have been old enough to play? Do we still have that rule about age? And would he have been able to play? Say we needed a quarterback.
If someone's 14, then they have to file some paperwork that has to be on file with the school. But I would tell you, COVID did allow a lot of, Jesse and I and the quarterbacks have been meeting 3 times a week since January. So, I think, it's given him a lot of time to get saturated in our offense and all those things. So, I think it would have been difficult to come in as a freshman and play in a regular type season. But he did have a great opportunity. We had Buckner for part of that time with conditioning and those guys watching him throw the ball around and his work ethic. So I think, it was great to have Tyler around, but Jesse's really blossomed in our offense. Him and Cam Tarlin have kind of taken that role on. And so, we're excited about our quarterback position and, obviously having Ryland for 4 years is going to be, really nice. So I'm excited about him as a football player and excited about what Cam brings to the table as well.
Also, is Clay on the team? Is Clay on the team?
So Clay is going to, he decided that he wants to compete for a job as a freshman and he didn't want to take the risk for an injury. So Clay's not.
We'll get him back. Clay heading over to Penn. That's taken a little bit away from these Highlanders. Like I said, Dave, and I'm trying to, sell it a little bit that these are going to be some great league games. So get Coach back. But just wanted to mention, go ahead, Dave.
Well, Ramon, I was just going to say, and I'm sure not only the defense, but the offense is pretty used to that already at Helix. I mean, you had a quarterback rotation anyway last time you guys played. So, I mean, it's really not that big of a change for Helix. And you had 2 good ones, too, let me tell you. Phenomenal quarterbacks. And I'm sure Coach could attest to that, too, because he's back.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. It tells me it's saying error with the StreamYard, but
yeah.
And somehow I'm going to try to broadcast football games live from a field, and I can't even get the coach. Coach, tell me about these guys. I mentioned Sean. Jerry mentioned it beautifully. You never see an offensive lineman who's the league player of the year. It happened for Sean. It's kind of like an offensive lineman is never going to win the Heisman Trophy. Here you have a player who is definitely one of the top, looks like one of the top 5 players in the county. He's a preseason all-state selection. Tell me about Sean. He's going to Southwest Minnesota State with a bunch of San Diego guys. And I want you to talk about all these guys we have on screen before we get out of here. Tell me about what Sean brings.
Well, Sean's a great football player, and he's really matured and developed it, with it as an offensive lineman and now even as a two-way guy playing, defensive line. He's going to be a load on both sides of the ball, and a guy, like I said, is going to be the bell cow of our offensive line. And, it was a tremendous honor for him to be Offensive Player of the Year, and kind of said who we were offensively. We were pretty much smack mouth football last year, and we had El Elyon, and then he went down, and we had Christian Washington, and we just didn't miss a beat. And a lot of that was because of our up front guys. So, Sean, again, I have very high expectations of him every single time he's out there, what he should be doing for us and dominating the line of scrimmage. So excited. He's a guy that, he's one of the ones, all these guys, these 4 guys are the ones that missed out on some recruiting opportunities if we would have had, a normal season. And that's unfortunate for those guys because you got 4 really, really good football players on the screen right now.
Dave?
No, that's a fact. I mean, like I said, seeing some of their play against Steele was some real. It did come down to some of that smash mouth, and there was some big plays where some big holes opened up, but you guys were creating them, and then again, the defense stepped up. You guys are just an all-around top-tier team, and I think I'm not one for polls. I never have been, and I'll be the first to say guilty as charged, especially polls that are based on 2019. We really don't know with this whole COVID thing who's going to be ranked what. I don't even know how they figure their rankings. I think Max Prep's ranked you guys at number 9. I'm not saying that you guys shouldn't be up there, but how they do the rankings, we haven't played any games for quite a while, so I don't know where they get them. I'm one of those guys. Show me on the field what you guys can do, and I know you guys can do it, and I know you guys will do it, but I think that's the best way to figure that out. And then maybe after 3 or 4 games, then they can come up with their polls and be a little more accurate. But I know that, especially you, Sean, you're definitely, if there ever was going to be somebody that would be a Heisman candidate, you definitely would be in a top 5 running for sure. That's my opinion. I want to make sure that everybody knows it's my opinion. Don't want to ruffle any feathers. And I just think that you guys, Helix is Helix. You guys compete every single year in, year out. You guys all know about once you put that jersey on, and I'm sure you've heard that from the beginning as a freshman. I'm sure whether it be Jerry or Sean, any of you guys, once you put that jersey on, you're told about what wearing that jersey means and what it's all about to play for Helix, to represent Helix. I know that story pretty well, and I think it's you guys got to be pretty proud of wearing it for this long. Sean?
Yeah, definitely. Ever since our freshman year, they always told us, it's a tradition. It's a tradition to win. It's a tradition to win league. It's a tradition to win CIFs. It's just a tradition. And as soon as you put it on, it's just like a feeling comes over you. You're like, oh, yeah, we're about to go out here. We're about to play this team. We're about to win because it's tradition. It's what we do around here. We win games. We win championships.
Hey Dom, is it that easy, man? Do we just put on these Kelly Green jerseys and that's all the magic? I mean, I think these coaches. I mean, I follow them all. We have the Twitter All Stars already on the screen, minus Coach Owens. But I follow all these coaches. They obviously do a tremendous job, and all the coaches in the conference are married to this craft. But it seems like the group at Helix takes it so seriously. Do we just put that Helix jersey on, and that takes care of it all? I'm sure a lot of work goes into it. Come on.
Yeah, I would say that the winning is the tradition, and once a Scotty, always a Scotty. But there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and we practice hard every time, and it's fundamental. Like we picked up right where we left off. We didn't change anything about the way that we practice or the way that we go through film. Even though it's on Zoom, we still do the same thing. So there's a lot of tradition that goes into the way that we prepare and the way that we play.
Jerry, am I always motivated to win everything that I do because I am a Highlander, because I'm a Scotty?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna answer this for me because I know for me, it's like something about that green. I don't know if you know the superhero Hulk, but something about that green. Like you wear the green and then you're a superhero. You know what I mean? Like everybody. I remember when I first came to Helix and everybody was like, "Oh, you play football at Helix? Oh, Helix this, Helix that," and Helix is a real good school. And then when I finally got out there and people started recognizing me and then like knowing my name or something like that, and then it feel really, really good. So just stuff like that, it just motivates you like to keep the tradition going, like pass the torch type stuff.
Yeah, Blaze. This program, Dave makes it sound so easy, but the winning has continued for many, many years. I mean, we've seen not only Coach Owens, but the coaches before him. So what does it really say about the athletes and maybe the culture that they purvey? Because we know that Helix is a multicultural school, bringing in students from all over, and that the mix of the group and the family together, and that's how you build those relationships on the team.
Brotherhood, yeah.
Share the winning, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've known all these dudes for 4 years, and I feel like, we're a brotherhood. We've been together thick and thin. We've lost, we've won together, and we're just a good group of guys, and we trust each other, and that's really important.
But and it is, Ramon, it's a history of winning, not only in the football realm, but they're all getting ready to play. I mean, John Singer and his many, 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 many years of basketball championships. And even though you all play football, I'm sure you know of John Singer's legendary basketball teams. And not to mention, Cole Holland has had quite a few great baseball teams come out of Helix High School for sure. So, just those core sports within themselves, and I'm sorry, and even the softball team, the girls softball team has been pretty great as of late as well. So it's really a winning tradition across the board. It's just you attend Helix, you have high expectations. I think not only on the field but academically as well. Some people would say, "Oh, well, it's a charter, so it's expected," but I think it's expected from the staff in the classrooms and the staff on the field, whatever your craft is. And I'm sure Coach can attest to that too. And that was one thing I wanted to touch on before we went to was just to give some accolades to some of your staff, Coach Rob.
Yeah, I think, when you look it up, am I there?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I think, defensive coordinator DeMaja Jones, he's one of the top guys in San Diego. I mean, he could coach at any level of football, and we just have a lot of guys that are Helix guys. I mean, Jason Van, one of the top running backs guys ever. Eric Parker,
one of my favorite backs to cover. Sorry about that. Just want to tell you, he was my favorite backs to cover.
Right. Yeah. And then you got Eric Parker, and then you got Coach Noah, who's obviously family is legendary through Helix and with the Noah family coaching linebackers. So we got just a great staff, just a great group of guys, and they work hard. And as one of the guys said, it's about the fundamentals, and Dom touched on it. I mean, I think that's what differentiates us is, it's just not going out there and we just don't throw athletes out on the field and we just go out there and beat people. I think we do it the right way. We're as close to a college program as you can get. Any of our guys that have been through it and go to college, they know, our practices are set up that way. Our film sessions are set up that way. Our offense, our defense, our special teams all set up that way. So everything we do is try to do it first class. And like I said, that leads to the success. And as you said, Helix has a great tradition, and it is a part of our culture. I tell the guys all the time, Helix is going to be good long after I'm gone. So it's just something that, you come there and the expectations are very high academically, socially, and athletically. So you come there for all the right reasons.
Guys, I just want to tell Sean, Jerry, Blaze, and Dominic about why I love sports and why I do East County sports. It's because of the sports tradition at Helix. When I was a young man growing up on the north side of Highway 8 on Parkway Drive, I loved reading the Daily Californian with Dave's dad, writing about the great players from the late 70s when I was growing up and the early 80s from guys like, Jim Plum and all these great backs. Standing in 3 inches of mud, interviewing a young Reggie Bush. It's just these type of things that kept me so interested in sports in general, and why I love doing this today, because sports was big at Helix and I loved sports and I wanted to be a part of it. I mean, they tried to put me in at quarterback on the JV and I threw a pick 6 in practice and I never came back. So, and that was with Dick Langston, Coach Owens. I tell you, hey, Dominic, you guys going to Southwest Minnesota State. It seems like you're taking half of San Diego with you guys. I think that's going to be an awesome experience. Have you talked to some of these other guys from other schools that are joining you and Sean? And man, it's going to – don't party too much, especially if there's still some of the pandemic winding down come next fall and winter.
Yeah, I can say that I've talked to a lot of the dudes that are coming out of San Diego, because I do practice with McCasey and stuff, and I did their 7-on-7, and a lot of the kids over at McCasey and here in San Diego have made sort of like this group of kids that are going up there. And I could say like kids from Westview and kids from Morris. So I know a lot of the dudes that are going up, and we've all really talked about what's going on and what's going to happen and everything that's going on right now.
I know what's one thing is going to happen, Dave, is going to be cold and it's going to be snow.
Well, and they're going to learn how to go ice fishing real quick. I know Justice mentioned that was his that was first on his list was to go ice fishing. But I mean, you get some seasons, right? I mean, I'm sorry to say, yes, San Diego is great, but we have warm and hot. Warm and hot. That's it. We might get about a month of winter, and then a little bit of sprinkled rain here and there. So definitely, you get some seasons out there, and I think that's something that I think that's a culture that would be neat after living in San Diego for so long and having this. I think it's weird weather. I got some family in Wisconsin, and they say the same thing. They go, do you guys ever get seasons, or is it just warm and hot? It's just warm and hot. We got the beach though, right? We got the beach.
Well, it's interesting, Dave, because when we talked to a couple other players that were going to join these guys at Southwest Minnesota State, they kind of sold us on the fact that they want to maybe play a football game in the snow or enjoy that to change a little bit from saying, look, they're going to be back for the tacos. You can't, there's some things you just can't replicate. So they'll come back home and everything. look, Coach Owens is where you guys are going to. If anybody makes fun of Coach Owens's connection tomorrow, they're going to have to run laps. Okay, and not only that, if you listen to Dominic's audio, I'm not sure he might be a professional gamer already. It sounds like he's got really high quality. So, with Coach Owens's connection going in and out, Dave, we've gone about 55 minutes. I think we could wrap it up with these Highlanders. We're gonna see plenty of them starting on Friday night when they take on the St. Augustine Saints. I'll say it right now. I mean, until we see some of these other matchups, and Cathedral's got a big match. They got big matchups too, but part of the Gauntlet Series, if you will, is going to take place this Friday night, and it's kind of if there's no championship this season, this is part of the county championship series in this shortened season. The winner of this game will certainly have some bragging rights for not only these 6 weeks, but COVID champs. They can call themselves if they wrap up maybe an undefeated schedule. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. SHAWN MARTINEZ, Jerry Riggins, Blaze ZITO, Dominic Scope. Did I say it right, Dom? Yeah, said it wrong the first time, and I kind of made fun of the fact that I could say it right to Jerry, and I blew it, even though I knew it. And, of course, head coach Robbie Owens, poker author extraordinaire. Dave, thanks for getting our group together tonight. Thanks,
gentlemen. Appreciate you guys, taking time out of your busy schedule. And Coach, too, and all of you. It's busy for all of us, but it's a good busy. And I just think taking the time out has been it's been special to us, and we just can't wait to see you guys on the field and get some highlight clips and get some quotes and watch you get some W's and play some smash mouth football.
Yeah, these guys are more tired than ever, but you know what? I think they're glad to do all these media tours and everything because we just want to go back to what we know best and what we're doing. So thank you to the Helix Highlanders. We'll see you out there Friday night in the next 6 weeks, and see you again in the fall too. All right. Thanks a lot, Dave. Good night, everybody.